Hi, this is Dr. Nick, the Incrementalist, talking about incremental steps for a healthier business and life. First piece of advice. We're now some ways into the COVID-19 crisis, and I'm sure everybody's getting a little bit stir-crazy, confined to their own home environment. And here's what I'd tell you. Don't panic. What we see in people as a result of this enormous amount of stress and strain is we don't see the best in people. Essentially what happens is we all react to this stress in different ways. And one of the pieces of guidance that I have for you, just in general terms and in business terms, is people are going to behave in unusual, unexpected ways and probably not at their best. It's very hard to predict what's going on in their mind, why they're behaving that way, what happened specifically. There are just so many examples of challenges that people are facing that we can't possibly begin to understand or experience. So the first thing you need to do is to ignore what other people are doing. As my yoga instructor would always say, don't pay attention to any of the other participants in the class. Focus on your own behavior, and what matters is not how other people behave, but how you behave. So elevate everything and try and behave in the most appropriate way, the most responsible way, and do your best to ignore bad behavior rather than trying to focus or react to it. That's the best way to sort of succeed in this challenging circumstance. Now, from a business perspective, I saw something really interesting online today that talked about Maslow's hierarchy. And in fact, if you go back in my timeline, you'll find me talking about some of the elevated needs of Wi-Fi and so forth. Adding to that, and whilst that's important, I think one of the things from a business perspective is we need to focus on those more basic needs. And, you know, I'm a perfect example. The highlight of the day today for me was actually scoring a packet of toilet paper. We've had an incredible shortage of this. It's hard to explain why that's the case. I certainly wasn't prepared because I didn't think that that was going to be a problem in this particular instance. So we didn't stock up. But I was able to get some. That's a physiological need for me and for my family. And I would say the same is true in business. And I've tried to do the same with my business and my focus. So prior to this, I was talking about intermittent fasting, talking about some of the challenges associated with supplements and what would be appropriate, thinking about other things in business. At this point, I've reorientated some of the discussions and focused on basic business needs. And that's what you should be doing for your customers. Some of this may be short-term adaptation. Maybe you're not focusing on specific business. We see a number of examples where companies have changed their particular production. In the case of whiskey producers, they're not producing whiskey, they're producing hand sanitizer from the alcohol production. Now, I don't know if they're charging for it, but certainly some of the examples I've seen, they're giving it away. What enormous goodwill are they creating with their local community? And I think that's one of the things that we could see. So if you've got an opportunity to do something in the local community, I have a friend personally who used his connections in the construction world to gather as many of the masks that they have in construction and took those and created a network to distribute those in New York City. He went round, I would say, potentially at his own risk, distributing those as best as he could to each of the frontline healthcare workers. Was he charging for it? Absolutely not. He was distributing it on the basis of need. Again, creating enormous goodwill. That's your opportunity. If you don't innovate, you don't adapt, you're going to wither on the vine in this particular instance. And the opportunity, behave well, understand that people are stressed out, and create opportunity for others and adapt your current businesses, maybe not for making money, but doing good things. That's the most important thing. It's about the community coming together, and people will remember that for a very long time. I'm Dr. Nick. I'm the Incrementalist with incremental steps for improving your business and your health.